"You don't understand our connection. He is like family to me," she said about the guy she had been disappearing with every night for a month. So when a Marriott receipt fell out of her purse, I packed my bags. Hours later, her brother had a very different story. "I am Orion 24M. Work as a logistics coordinator making around $52K. Been with my girlfriend Delphine, 23F, for 6 years. We started dating senior year of high school, moved in together after graduation. Been talking about engagement. She is a graphic designer making about $38K. Until recently, I thought we were solid. Had our issues like any couple, but nothing major. We had built a whole life together, shared friend groups, talked about buying a house next year. 6 years is a long time when you are only 24. Delphine's been my only serious relationship, and honestly, I couldn't imagine being with anyone else. She has always been the type who needs a lot of attention and validation, but I thought that was just her personality. I had gotten used to her needing constant reassurance that she was attractive, smart, funny. Maybe I should have seen the red flags earlier. About a month ago, everything changed. Delphine joined this new gym downtown and immediately started talking about this personal trainer she would met. Augustus, 24. Apparently this really charismatic guy who just gets her in a way most people don't. At first, I didn't think much of it. She had always been social, always made friends easily. He is like the big brother I never had. She told me after their first real conversation, "You know how I have always wanted siblings. Augustus has this protective, familial energy that I have been missing my whole life." The first weekend I had to travel for work, routine logistics conference in Chicago. She spent the entire time driving around with Augustus. "We just talked for hours," she said when I called to check in. "He is helping me work through some emotional stuff I have been carrying around." When I got back from that trip, something fundamental had shifted. The intimacy between us just stopped. No more random kisses. No more cuddling on the couch. No more spontaneous sex. When I tried to initiate anything physical, she would say she was tired or stressed about work. This from the girl who used to jump me the second I walked through the door. Then the late-night hangouts started, 2, 3 in the morning. She would get texts from Augustus and suddenly need to go help him with something, or be there for him during a rough time. I had wake up alone at 5 a.m. and find her just getting home, saying they had been talking through his family issues or helping him process his ex-girlfriend drama. Why cannot he talk to his guy friends about this stuff? I asked one morning after she had been out until 4 a.m. "You don't understand, Orion? Augustus doesn't trust easily. I am probably the first person he has ever opened up to like this. I cannot abandon him when he needs support." "What about when I need support?" "We haven't had a real conversation in weeks." "That is different. You are secure in who you are. Augustus is going through a vulnerable time. I started feeling like I was competing with this guy for my own girlfriend's attention. Every conversation somehow circled back to Augustus. Augustus thinks I should pursue freelance work. Augustus says I have natural artistic talent. Augustus helped me realize I have been settling in some areas of my life. That last comment hit different. Settling in what areas? Just general life stuff. He is helping me recognize my worth. My buddy Jake started noticing I looked miserable during our weekly poker games. "Dude, when is the last time you seemed happy? You look stressed as hell." "It is Delphine. She has got this new friend and I feel like I don't exist anymore, friend." "What kind of friend has your girl out until 3 a.m. every night?" When he put it like that, it sounded insane. But I had been so deep in the situation that I had started accepting it as normal. That is what happens when someone gradually shifts the boundaries. You adapt to each new level of disrespect until you are tolerating things you never thought you would. The breaking point came last Saturday. Delphine told me she was having a sleepover at her friend Sarah's house. Girls' night, you know how it is? She packed an overnight bag, kissed me goodbye. Said she would see me Sunday afternoon. It was the first time in weeks she had shown any physical affection, and even that felt perfunctory. Around midnight, I couldn't sleep and decided to drive around to clear my head. Don't ask me why, but I found myself driving past Augustus's apartment complex. There, in the visitor parking, was Delphine's car. I sat there for 20 minutes, trying to rationalize what I was seeing. Maybe they had gone somewhere together and taken his car. Maybe she had left her car there and gotten a ride to Sarah's. Maybe there was some logical explanation that didn't involve my girlfriend lying to my face about where she was spending the night. I drove home and barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her car in that parking lot. Sunday morning, she came back around 10 a.m. looking refreshed and happy in a way I hadn't seen in weeks. She was practically glowing, humming while she made coffee. "How was girls' night?" "Amazing." Sarah and I talked until like 5 a.m. I feel so much better about everything. The lie came so easily, so naturally, that I wondered how many other lies I had been accepting as truth. That afternoon, she was doing laundry when a receipt fell out of her purse onto the bathroom floor. I picked it up to hand it to her and my blood went cold. Marriott downtown Saturday night. Room charge, $180. Delphine. "What is this hotel receipt?" The color drained from her face. "What receipt?" I handed it to her and watched her try to process what to say. The date, the timestamp. Everything matched up with when she was supposedly at Sarah's house having an innocent girls' night. "I thought you were at Sarah's last night." She started crying immediately. "Orion. I can explain." "It is not what you think, then explain it. Because right now I am thinking my girlfriend of 6 years lied to me about where she was spending the night and got a hotel room with another man. We didn't do anything. Nothing happened. Augustus and I just needed privacy to talk, and his roommate was home, so we thought a neutral location would be better for our conversation." I stared at her, trying to process what she had just said. "You got a hotel room to talk?" "Yes, that is exactly what it was. We have been working through some really deep emotional stuff, and we needed somewhere quiet and private where we wouldn't be interrupted. His roommate is always there, and I didn't want to bring him here because I knew you would get the wrong idea. Delphine, you spent 6 years building a relationship with me, and you threw it away for a conversation with another man that required hotel room privacy. I didn't throw anything away. You are being dramatic. People can have deep friendships without it meaning anything romantic. Why cannot you understand that? Then why did you lie? Why tell me you were at Sarah's? Because I knew you would react exactly like this. I knew you wouldn't understand the nature of our friendship. You have been jealous and possessive ever since I met Augustus. I have been feeling neglected and replaced. There is a difference. You are overreacting to a conversation between friends. But I was done. 6 years of my life. And she had chosen a month-old friendship that required lying and hotel rooms for conversations. The math was simple, and I was finally ready to do the calculation. "Pack your stuff," I said. "What? You heard me? Pack your stuff and get out?" "Orion, you are overreacting. Nothing happened." "You are right. Nothing happened. Between us. For a month. Because you were too busy having emotional intimacy with another man to notice that your boyfriend of 6 years felt completely abandoned." I helped her pack. She cried, begged, promised to cut contact with Augustus, swore it was all a misunderstanding. But I was finally seeing clearly. This wasn't about whether they had had sex in that hotel room. This was about a woman who had chosen another man's emotional needs over her boyfriend's for an entire month, then lied about it when confronted. 6 years together. And when it came down to choosing between me and her new brother, she had chosen him every single time. Update 1: sorry for the delay. Had to take a few personal days off work to get my head straight. The last 72 hours have been a whirlwind. But I am starting to see this situation clearly for the first time in weeks. So I kicked Delphine out Sunday afternoon. She went to stay with her sister, calling and texting non-stop, trying to explain the hotel situation. I blocked her number after the 15th call because I couldn't handle hearing the same lies over and over. Monday morning, I called in sick and spent the day just thinking. 6 years is a long time to throw away, right? Maybe I was being too harsh. Maybe there really was an innocent explanation for everything. But every time I started second-guessing myself, I would remember how completely neglected I had felt for the past month. My buddy Jake came over Monday evening with pizza and beer. "How you holding up, man?" I keep going back and forth. Like, what if I am wrong? What if they really were just talking? Orion, listen to yourself. Your girl got a hotel room with another dude and lied to you about it. What kind of talking requires that level of deception? He was right. If their friendship was innocent, why all the secrecy? Why the 3 a.m. hangouts? Why had our physical relationship completely stopped the moment Augustus entered the picture? You know what the worst part is? I told Jake. It is not even about whether they hooked up. It is that for an entire month, she chose him over me every single day. Every night she was out with him was a night she chose not to be home with me. Tuesday. Delphine showed up at my work during lunch break. My coworker Marcus came to get me. There is a girl in the lobby crying and asking for you. She looked terrible. Eyes, puffy, hadn't slept. Still wearing the same clothes from Sunday. Part of me wanted to hug her and pretend everything was fine. Orion, please just listen to me for 5 minutes. We went outside to the parking lot. She started talking fast, like she had rehearsed this speech. I talked to Augustus yesterday and told him we cannot be friends anymore. I deleted his number, blocked him on everything. I realize now that I got too wrapped up in helping him and lost sight of what really matters. You and me, our 6 years together, our future plans. Delphine. You are missing the point. What point? I am fixing it. I am choosing you. You are choosing me now because I forced you to choose. You spent a month choosing him until I gave you an ultimatum, but I am choosing you now. Isn't that what matters? I looked at this woman I had loved for 6 years and realized I didn't even recognize her anymore. You needed a hotel room for privacy with another man. You lied to me about where you were. You spent a month making me feel invisible in my own relationship, and your solution is to promise you will stop? Yes, I will do whatever it takes. The fact that you think this is fixable tells me you don't understand what you did wrong. She started crying harder. So that is it. 6 years means nothing to you. 6 years means everything to me. That is why I am not going to waste 6 more years wondering when the next Augustus is going to show up. I walked back into the building and left her in the parking lot. Through the window, I watched her sit in her car for 30 minutes before driving away. Wednesday, my phone started blowing up with messages from her friends. Sarah texted, "Delphine is devastated. She made a mistake, but she loves you. Don't throw away 6 years over one bad month." Even her sister Emma called. I know my sister screwed up, but she has learned her lesson. She is talking about moving back home to get away from temptation. Everyone was acting like I was the problem for not forgiving her. Like I was supposed to just accept that my girlfriend needed hotel room privacy with other men and move on. But here is what really sealed it for me. Thursday morning, I was getting coffee before work when I saw Augustus at the same cafe. Tall, confident. Exactly the type of guy Delphine always said wasn't her type. He recognized me immediately. "You must be Orion. I am Augustus. I know who you are. Look, man. I want you to know that nothing inappropriate happened between Delphine and me. We are just friends. Friends who need hotel rooms for privacy." He had the audacity to laugh. "Yeah. That probably looked bad. But honestly, we just needed somewhere quiet to talk without interruptions. My roommate's always around. And your place." He shrugged, like it was obvious why they couldn't talk at our apartment. "My place? You mean the place she lives with her boyfriend of 6 years? Right. Well, she didn't want to make you uncomfortable by bringing me around." The casual way he said it, like it was perfectly normal for my girlfriend to need privacy from me to have deep conversations with another man. Like I was the obstacle to their friendship rather than the person who should have been her primary emotional connection. "How long have you known Delphine?" "About a month. But sometimes you just click with someone immediately, you know? Like we have known each other forever. A month." This guy had known my girlfriend for a month, and somehow became more important to her emotional well-being than I was. I left that conversation knowing I had made the right decision. This wasn't about jealousy or insecurity. This was about a woman who had found someone she connected with more than me and was too cowardly to just admit it. But the story doesn't end there. Yesterday, I found out something that changes everything about this whole situation. Update 2 car broke down yesterday morning. So I took an Uber to work and got to see something I wasn't supposed to see. As we were driving past the gym where Delphine met Augustus, I spotted them in the parking lot together. Talking by his car. This was Thursday morning. 3 days after she had sworn to me that she had cut all contact with him. "Hey, can you pull over for a second?" I asked the Uber driver. I watched from across the street as they talked for about 10 minutes. Body language didn't look like two people saying goodbye forever. It looked like two people having a normal, comfortable conversation. When they parted ways, she touched his arm and smiled before getting in her car. So much for deleting his number and blocking him everywhere. I called Jake immediately. She is still seeing him. I just watched them together at the gym. Are you surprised? Come on, man. She chose him over you for a month straight. You think 3 days of tears was going to change that? He was right. I had been expecting her to suddenly prioritize our 6-year relationship over a connection she had described as deeper than anything she had ever experienced. That is not how human psychology works. That afternoon, I did something I probably shouldn't have done. I drove to Augustus's apartment complex and waited. Around 6 p.m., Delphine's car pulled into the visitor parking, same spot where I had found it Saturday night. I sat there for 2 hours. At 8 p.m., they both came out together, got in his car, and drove off. At 11 p.m., they returned. She got in her car and left. 3 hours. After promising me she had cut contact, after crying about our 6 years together, after begging for another chance, she had spent 3 hours with him the same day she had promised he was out of her life. But here is the part that actually hurt. She looked happy. Genuinely happy in a way I hadn't seen her in months. Walking to her car, she had this glow, this lightness that told me everything I needed to know about where her heart really was. I drove home and found 17 missed calls from her. When I finally answered, she was frantic. "Orion, where have you been? I have been worried sick. I went by your work and they said you had left early. I saw you today." Silence. At the gym, with Augustus. Then at his apartment, more silence. I thought you had blocked him everywhere. I had to see him one more time to properly say goodbye. I owed him that much after everything he had helped me through for 3 hours. We had a lot to talk about. I had to make him understand why I couldn't be friends anymore. Delphine, just stop. Please just stop lying. I am not lying. I was ending things with him by spending 3 hours at his apartment after telling me you had already cut contact. It is complicated. Orion, you don't understand the nature of our friendship. There it was again. The same line she had been using for a month. I don't understand their connection. I don't understand their friendship. I don't understand why they need privacy in hotel rooms and 3 a.m. conversations. You are right. I don't understand, and I don't want to understand anymore. What does that mean? It means I am done. Completely done. Don't call me. Don't show up at my work. Don't send your friends and family to convince me to take you back. Orion, please, you made your choice, over and over again. For a month straight, you chose him. The only reason you are calling me now is because I forced you to confront the consequences. That is not true. Then why are you still seeing him? Why, when faced with the possibility of losing everything we have built together, are you still choosing to spend your evenings at his apartment? She couldn't answer that, because the answer was obvious to both of us. I love you, she said finally. No, you don't. You love the security I represent. You love having a backup plan, but you don't love me enough to actually choose me. I hung up and blocked her number. Blocked her on all social media. Blocked her email. I was done being someone's second choice. This morning, I started looking for a new apartment. Our lease is up in 2 months anyway, and I cannot stay in a place where every corner reminds me of 6 years with someone who threw it all away for a month-old friendship. My coworker Lisa asked if I was okay during lunch break. You look lighter somehow, less stressed. She was right. For the first time in a month, I wasn't wondering where Delphine was or who she was with. I wasn't analyzing her texts for enthusiasm level or trying to compete with another man for my own girlfriend's attention. I think I am going to be okay, I told her. Good. You deserve someone who doesn't make you question your worth. That hit me hard, because that is exactly what the last month had been. Me questioning my worth, wondering why I wasn't enough to keep my girlfriend's attention, trying to figure out what Augustus had that I didn't. The truth is, it was never about what he had that I didn't. It was about what I had that she didn't value. Loyalty, consistency, 6 years of showing up every day. She wanted excitement and novelty and the thrill of a new connection. There is nothing wrong with wanting those things, but she should have broken up with me before pursuing them. But there is one more twist to this story that makes everything even more clear about the kind of person I was dating and the pattern of behavior I had been blind to for months. What I discovered changed everything about how I understood our entire relationship, not just the last month. Final update: it has been 3 months since I ended things with Delphine, and life's been pretty good. Found a great new apartment closer to work. Been focusing on fitness and hobbies I had neglected during the relationship. My mental health has improved dramatically. Turns out being someone's second choice for months was really messing with my head. The big news: Delphine and Augustus dated for exactly 6 weeks after our breakup before he dumped her. Apparently, the excitement of their deep connection wore off pretty quickly once it became an actual relationship instead of a forbidden friendship. My buddy Jake heard about it through mutual friends. She is devastated. Keeps saying she gave up a 6-year relationship for someone who didn't even want her long term. I felt bad for her for about 30 seconds. Then I remembered all the lies, the hotel receipt, the month of being ignored in my own relationship, while she prioritized another man's emotional needs over mine. 2 months ago, something happened that really put everything in perspective. I have been getting to know my coworker Lisa better, just as friends, taking things slow. We went for coffee after work one day, and she mentioned how refreshing it was to talk to a guy who actually listened and cared about her thoughts. Most guys I have dated just wait for their turn to talk. You actually engage with what I am saying. It hit me then that this is what a normal connection feels like. 2 people genuinely interested in each other. No games, no competition for attention, no need for secrecy or privacy in hotel rooms. Lisa and I have been officially dating for about a month now. She is a marketing coordinator, 25. Has this calm confidence that comes from knowing her own worth. When she has concerns about something, she just talks to me about it directly. When she is stressed about work, she doesn't disappear for days with a male friend. She comes to me for support. The difference is night and day. I didn't realize how exhausting it had been to constantly wonder if I was enough for Delphine until I met someone who never made me question that. Last week, the ultimate karma moment happened. Delphine started trying to contact me again, called from different numbers. Sent emails, even showed up at my old gym hoping to run into me. When the phone calls didn't work, she tried reaching out through mutual friends. She realizes she made a huge mistake. Sarah texted me. She wants to apologize and see if you two can work things out. I didn't respond to any of it. I had moved on, was happy with Lisa, and had zero interest in revisiting a relationship with someone who had shown me exactly where I ranked in her priorities. But yesterday, Delphine called my phone one more time. I was in the shower, so Lisa answered. Hello. Orion's phone. Who is this? Where is Orion? This is Lisa, his girlfriend. He is busy right now. Can I take a message? According to Lisa, there was dead silence for about 10 seconds before Delphine hung up. Sounds like she is realizing what she lost, Lisa said when I got out of the shower. Too late for that. I am exactly where I want to be, and I meant it. 3 months ago, I was desperately trying to compete with another man for my own girlfriend's attention. Today, I am with someone who thinks I am her first choice, not her backup plan. Looking back, I am grateful for that hotel receipt. It forced me to confront a reality I had been avoiding. Delphine had emotionally checked out of our relationship the moment she met Augustus. The lying, the secrecy, the late-night talks, none of that was about friendship. It was about her wanting to explore a new connection while keeping me as a safety net in case things didn't work out with him. 6 years felt like a lot to throw away, but it would have been worse to waste any more time with someone who saw me as disposable. I learned that love isn't about competing for someone's attention. It is about being with someone who gives it freely. I learned that trust isn't something you should have to constantly rebuild because of someone else's choices. Most importantly, I learned that my worth isn't determined by whether someone chooses me over their exciting new option. Thanks for following this chapter of my life. Sometimes, the worst betrayals lead to the best new beginnings, and sometimes, you have to lose someone who was completely wrong for you to find someone who is exactly right. Edit. For everyone asking, no, I will not give you details about exactly what Lisa said to Delphine when she answered my phone. And no, I am not interested in getting closure with my ex, or hearing about how sorry she is now. Some doors are meant to stay closed permanently, and this is definitely one of them. Moving forward is the only direction that truly matters now, and always will be for me personally.